Cool. Hi everyone, thanks for coming. My name's John Hones. I'm the director of 8 Digital. We are a full-service digital marketing agency. For anyone who doesn't know what that means, we do everything digital really, from the concept of creating a website through to design, through to development, and our core offering is really around digital marketing services. So services that drive traffic to websites. Once we get the traffic there, we then go on to ensure that traffic converts into sales, leads, or the goals that your businesses have. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about multi-channel marketing. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, although I'd hope most people would know what that is, it's basically a concept where you're using more than one channel to drive visitors to your physical location or to your website. And it can be any kind of marketing channel, offline or online. We specialise in the online side of things. However, traditionally it's always worked well for print and TV. Why you should be doing it? Various different reasons. The average consumer may go through 6 channels before making a decision to purchase. There's various different research which will say how many channels a consumer goes through. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's more. But the fact is, if you're able to get your brand or your company in front of people via various different channels, you have a better chance of turning that particular consumer or customer into a lead. There's some interesting stats there, which from 2015. So you see there's a 500% increase in brands using, as an example here, display, mobile, social and video simultaneously. And a 300% improvement when brands are moving from a multi-channel digital marketing strategy and improving in ROI from their ad efforts. So the challenges of multi-channel marketing, there are quite a lot of challenges. I think the first one is finding the right mix of marketing channels. What we find with a range of the clients we work with is that they all kind of have different marketing mixes that work well for their target audiences. So for their target demographics. Very, very rarely do you find a company that is using the same marketing channels as another. It's all different, and it all depends a lot on who you're targeting and what it is you're offering. The next thing to consider is the cost and the time considerations. Anyone that's worked in marketing or works in marketing knows that we can come up with lots of great ideas, brainstorm lots of ideas, but the fact is it's putting it into action that really counts. And obviously sometimes you can spend a lot of time and it doesn't go on to actually work. So it's trying to get your channels right, really, right up front. So targeting your messages is also important. Different demographics obviously mean different messages, and also different devices mean different messages as well. And then optimizing your campaigns, equally important. More often than not, you'll go on to launch a campaign only to find it doesn't work straight away. By all means, it doesn't mean you should give up. It's really about pivoting and finding the approach that works for you. We run campaigns that don't always work the first time. The key really is to try and turn it around as quickly as possible, find out what's not working, and then try and fix it. And generally speaking, there are only a few things that can go wrong. I know there are lots of different variables, but there are only 3 or 4 core things that can go wrong with any kind of online marketing campaign, which we'll go on to talk about a little bit later. So I just wanted to show you this really. This is the customer value optimization model. It's quite typical in the online digital world. So I'll just go through it very quickly. Works very well for tech startups, but it works equally well for local solicitors. We've run it for accountancy companies. We've run it for bricks and mortar stores. Basically, it will work for any business. It's just finding the right offering for your particular company. So how it works, I'll go through. It's pretty standard. So the terminology used here is pretty standard across the board. Wouldn't say I agree with all of it, but I'll just take you through how it kind of works. So first of all, it's choosing a traffic source, and there are enough of them nowadays. So it could be through Facebook ads, Twitter ads, social media, search, email marketing. And the key initially is to offer some sort of a lead magnet, which could be a newsletter sign up. There are a whole array of different lead magnets your company could offer. But it's basically trying to get the email and some sort of data so that you can follow up and take it to the next step, which in this particular model, and I don't exactly agree with the terminology here, it's just what it's described here. It's called a tripwire. I like to call it maybe a sweetener as opposed to a tripwire. But a tripwire, for anyone that doesn't know, is something like, Spotify may offer 3 months for 99p. Netflix does something similar. Pizza Express, another great way of doing it, is getting somebody to come into the restaurant with a meal for 2 for $9.99. And obviously, once you've got the customer's attention, and as long as your service is good, which I'm sure it is, then you go on to offer them the core product. With the Spotify model, it's the premium subscription. With Pizza Express, it's getting them to buy more than just the $9.99 that they're spending. And from that, you go on to what's called the profit maximizer. So it's really, if you're a service-based business, it's offering them other services, upselling them other services in your particular industry. As we said right at the beginning, more often than not, you're going to have a few different channels to get that particular customer's attention. So the way to do that is by what's called retargeting, or creating a return path. And we're going to talk about that now, really. So the one that's very, very current at the moment is display retargeting, or remarketing, as Google calls it. And as it says there, it has a very strong connection in multi-channel campaigns. So just to quickly go over the different types, there is what's called search retargeting, site retargeting, social media, and not quite old-fashioned yet, but also email retargeting. So we'll start with search retargeting. Probably from all of the retargeting, it's the one that's the less intrusive. How that works is a user will go to Google and they will type in a particular keyword, and that keyword is then picked up by Google or Google AdWords, and you can then start showing the user, or business can start showing the user ads related to your services. So it's very powerful, and as I said, it's not as intrusive as site retargeting that we're going to talk about. But as you see there, somebody's come along, they've typed in hotel deals in Oxford, and the George Hotel is basically then, via the Google Display Network or other networks, such as Bing Ads, will start showing them retargeting ads, knowing that that particular customer has expressed an interest in your business's services. Also works really well if your AdWords budget has maxed out for the day, or your SEO isn't there. We run this for quite a few companies who haven't quite got the budgets to run AdWords all day, or haven't got the budget to compete against very competitive keywords in SEO. So search retargeting works really well for them. The next one is site retargeting, the stalker ads, as some people call it. But done ethically, it's certainly not a stalker ad. There are best practices to do it. How it works is a user will come to your site, cookies dropped, and then depending on what pages on their site, if it's done properly, depending on what pages on your site or services on your site that user has visited, you can then start retargeting them as they go about their net, as long as they're on websites that are in the networks that your brand is on. Social media retargeting, probably the newest in terms of retargeting. Again, very powerful. We mainly at the moment use Facebook and Instagram, as well as Twitter. LinkedIn are about to launch their own retargeting ads. But it's a similar concept. User arrives at your website, and as we said earlier on, you're trying to get back the lost customers. So average websites are about 3% conversion rate, 4% conversion rate. That means 96 visits to your website, or visitors to your website, have gone away without carrying out the desired reaction. So social media retargeting is another way to get users back to your website. Retargeting best practices, as I said, there are best practices. Retargeting is very powerful, it's done correctly. There's been a lot of complaints about retargeting, almost to the point that it's at the same level as email spam was a couple of years ago. But that's generally because people aren't doing it right. There are brands out there that will do it aggressively. They're showing your ads constantly. We believe you need to follow certain guidelines. The IAB, which is the Internet Advertising board, they basically recommend 15 to 17 times a month. So it's kind of one every day, every other day. What we also recommend is you promote the offer specific to that site page. Anyone that's been on an airline website, some of them again are very aggressive, but they try to bring you back by offering you a discount on the pages that you've offered, on the pages that you've visited. The other thing to remember is sending your traffic back to a dedicated landing page. So don't just send them back to the home page. We recommend you send them back to the page they've visited or the page with the promotion on. Be sure to include a clear call to action. As you see there, this was for a medical company over in Bicester, and the key there was to get them back and register for a webinar. And use multiple creatives, keep them fresh. They will plateau after a while, so it's really important that you keep your creatives fresh and try and bring back some of your lost customers and make it worthwhile. So, offer a promotion that's going to work well. And of course, test. As I said, it's very, very rare you'll get things to work first time. So it's about testing, getting it right, and then you should see that retargeting works really well for you. So pay-per-click, just very briefly going to talk to you about the next 2 or 3 slides about how pay-per-click can be used in a multi-channel campaign. So first of all, AdWords extensions. You may or may not have seen them, but if you're running AdWords, it's a feature that a lot of people don't use, but it allows you, as you see here, this company here has been running a promotion on actually coming to your site and installing the office desks. So people would have seen that through a multi-channel campaign, and they've ensured that they're there. If you look where the blue circled, that they've got it in their ads on AdWords. You can also have what's called click-to-call extensions, which is great for mobile. So someone can just call you straight away off the back of your AdWords ad. Gmail ads, which is quite new. Again, it's very, very powerful. This basically works by recognizing domains, keywords, topics, and interests. There's about 1 billion, or at least last time I looked, there's about 1 billion users worldwide. Google's just saying yes there. That are using Gmail ads. They're powerful because it picks up on keywords and domains. As an example, we work one of the national gyms, so we're working with about 90 gyms across the country. Very competitive industry it is at the moment, and with a lot of businesses, you're trying to not just win new business, but get business perhaps from your competitors. Now the way to do that with Gmail ads is through keyword and domain targeting. As an example, this particular gym might want to target people that belong to Virgin Active, and they can do that by recognizing emails that are being sent to them by the competitor, and then they can offer their own promotions. So it's just a great feature that works really well. And as with any kind of retargeting, you can target by your demographics, so age, gender, interests, and so on and so forth. Dual screening, bit of a buzzword at the moment. Second screen searches, as Google calls it. We've all done it. There's research that says about 84% of us are now second screening. Anyone who doesn't know what that is, the picture should say it all there. The ads come on, and when the ads come on, we pick up our smartphones, we pick up our tablets, go on our laptops. Traditionally we used to go away and make a cup of tea. Now we're kind of second screening. So there's lots of smart technology that's coming out now. Web browsers are starting to be able to pick up on audio codes from TV, radio, and streamed content. We can start showing ads, or we can start reflecting what people are actually watching on the TV, so the content of what they're watching on the TV. And the other thing there is to ensure, if you are running multi-channel campaigns, ensure to bid on relevant keywords at all time. Time and time again, we've seen companies not doing this. I was working with Virgin Megastores, who were very reluctant to do any search. This is going back a few years, for anyone who remembers Virgin Megastores were. They ran a campaign at the time called Bargain Box Sets. I don't know if anyone can remember it, but they had it on billboards, they had it on TV, they had it on radio, and they neglected to do any sort of AdWords against our recommendations. So what happened was their competitor basically just bid on that keyword. So anybody seeing them on a billboard, anyone seeing them on TV, then went on to Google them. Obviously, HMV with them coming up top for the keyword bargain box sets and picking up on a lot of the traffic that Virgin Megastores has invested into the campaign. So it's really important that if you're doing multi-channel campaigns, especially TV and radio, that you're bidding on keywords that are relevant to that particular ad. A couple of reports and then we'll finish. Google Analytics is the acquisition reports. It will basically tell you which of your channels are working correctly. Rich is hurrying me here, and it's quite easy to find. You can Google it and find it. And the second one is called Multi-Channel Funnel Attribution Reporting. The reason I brought that in is because a lot of people aren't convinced that retargeting works for them. They're not convinced that email's working for them. This report will tell you the attribution of your different channels. As you'll see there, you've got a user's come in on paid search, and then they've converted on a direct. So they've come back, typed it into the browser and found you. Same with SEO. They found you initially through an organic search, and then they've gone on and come back through direct. And that is it. Thank you very much.